guys, Renata Sandor here from MeetAdvisors.com, and I'm joined with Bob Girolamo, founder of Sorc'd. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming into our office this fine morning of snow. So I want to start off with asking you to tell our audience a little bit about you and your background.
The short version is started in digital media about 20 years ago with a group called Cool Savings at the time, which became Q Interactive. Spent about 15 years there managing the sales and business development teams growing that organization to $80 million business. And since that, spent a year and a half with a group called Hello World, which had acquired Sell It, which is a mobile platform, and they needed somebody to help integrate Sell It into the bigger organization. And so I helped grow that division and get them integrated right when I realized I really wanted to go start something on my own. So that's
here you are.
The quick history.
And can you tell our audience a little bit more about Sorc'd? What do you guys do? What is it?
Sorc'd is effectively a digital highlighter. So, and a good relationship or a good way to think about it would be Pinterest for snippets of information.
Okay.
It's the whole idea is we're consuming millions of data points every day. The 1.6 billion data points are published online every day. As a professional, we're responsible to go consume that data and be as smart as we can about our industries. Inevitably, you go out, do what you're supposed to do, you get your research done, and when it comes down to producing that end document, you spend more time searching for where you read it and confirming what it was
so true.
than you do producing the end document. And so with Sorc'd, it's a simple highlight, right-click. You post it into Sorc'd. It's a cloud-based platform. So you have that snippet of information categorized and tagged to whatever project you're working on. So not only you have your personal library that you can quickly reference and recall that data, the rest of your team can see what you're working on and be able to share in that knowledge. And so what you're effectively doing is creating an internal filter system. So the rest of the team is going out and reading what's important to them and really making the whole organization smarter.
So as I'm researching, I put in the information there, or if I have a sentence that I don't remember where it came from, I could put it into there and it tells me?
It's really when you're reading the article for the first time.
Okay.
And what happens today is you're reading an article generally because it's relevant to a client or some industry research that's going to help the organization. And you see that quote that says 40% of entrepreneurs don't know how to find funding. And you want to make sure that that's part of your next presentation. Instead of thinking that's interesting and bookmarking it or copying and pasting it into Word or putting it on the Z drive, and we have all of these great solutions today to save. The challenge is not saving, it's that recall. And all of those methods I mentioned will work to save it. You spend a significant amount of time recovering it. And so to answer your original question, what it is as you're reading it, you're passively grabbing those snippets and throwing them in.
Okay. And do I have to say where I got it from, or does it know?
It knows.
Wow.
It's magic.
Wow. No, that's so true, because I know when, even for school, I just put it on the Word doc, and then I go back and I'm like, wait, where did I read this? Because obviously I need to reference it, and I have no idea. And then here I am trying to paste into Google and hope that Google finds that exact sentence and that exact source.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is, and that's the exact use case that we're preventing. So when you go to Sorc'd, you can recall that information either by simply filtering down through your posts, through the company post, whoever saw it, or you can search for it. And those links are already embedded. When you hover, it'll tell you where you got it, so you don't have to go to the original. The other benefit there is the rest of your team can see it and give you some indication of if it's a quality snippet or not. And based on the URL, you can usually get a great indication. If it's from Wikipedia, you might not trust it as much as if it's from Harvard Business Review.
Right. And so who do you see typically using Sorc'd? Is it a business? Is it just an individual? Is it a university? What is it? So typically.
My favorite answer is it's relevant for anybody doing research, right? So the whole world should be using Sorc'd. The reality of how we're getting into the marketplace is media agencies, similar to Rise Interactive is a good example who's using the platform. Beyond that, consulting companies. So Coho is a consulting firm for utilities, and they have a dispersed team constantly doing research and not working on the same projects, but getting each other smarter on the category. The real lift that we are expecting over the next few weeks is as we start to increase our dialogue with PR firms. Content is king right now. Everybody is scrambling to create content and build their blogs and build their social. And so you have a ecosystem where you have all of these writers who are looking for work and companies who want them to build the articles. And every conversation starts off with, well, what would you like me to write about? And it's some generic video production. When is my release going to be ready? And if they start to use Sorc'd as a tool, that client can start to keep track of what they're interested in. As they're doing their day-to-day research, those authors can go see what they're talking about and be able to consolidate that research very quickly and write about what is relevant to that business.
Okay.
Instead of waiting days for them to aggregate that information and send it over.
Cool.
So we think the content creation world is really where we'll find the big success right now.
So getting down to nitty-gritty of it all, why did you start this business? What is the why of your business?
Aside from my personal dream of always owning my own business, really it came out of years of discussion with some friends, and we're no different than everybody else. We want to change the world, so you sit down and you talk through ideas and throw them away the next morning. And the individual, Jeff Cloud, and I had been doing this for years, and we finally came onto something. It wasn't the hurdle of going out and starting a business. It was, what is the idea that it actually will make money and will be able to be a business, not just a cool idea. And the platform stuck. As we started to evolve, we actually continued to talk about it for about 9 months before pulling the trigger, and it was the confidence that it makes sense. It's the product serves a purpose. It's going to make people's lives easier. They're going to find value in that they will be willing to pay for, and it's truly a benefit to everybody involved. And so it was an easy decision once we hammered out all of the details, and that was it was I was going to jump into the evolution of what our original concept was, and maybe to be more clear on the answer. The pressure point was Jeff was constantly justifying his position he's in a larger firm and always doing reports of why they're spending so much on search, or why they're sending, or why do they need a marketing manager, and turning those up to his boss. And you spend so much time researching and building and finding that data. I've been managing sales organizations for 15 years. It's probably 20, but
We'll say 15.
Yeah. And the sales organization is constantly saying they don't have the right information. They're not smart enough. They need more crutches. And the marketing team is sitting there saying, well, we just published this document, we sent you, and they're each doing what they're supposed to be, and they're not connecting seamlessly. And this solved that problem. You have the marketing team and the product team producing those little snippets so the sales organization can look at their phone, they could be in a meeting, they can quickly look like they know what they're talking about, throw out a couple of stats, and sound smart.
And so one of my last questions is, what are some of the challenges you've seen growing Sorc'd, and then how are you overcoming these challenges?
Yeah. Probably the biggest challenge for us is we're not a technology group. My background, Jeff's background, and so building out the platform was a learning experience. we worked with a team in India and learned on our first go-around that you need to be very explicit and detailed on your requests. And so, that was one challenge that continues to be a challenge. We have since brought on a CTO advisor, and it's been a dramatic help for us to better communicate in the language that they need to be communicated in, to articulate what we want built and how to build it. And since we've brought on the CTO advisor and really become more detailed in our requests from the UI perspective, we're getting much better at it and being able to produce those changes in a much quicker manner. So I would say technology is our biggest challenge. Beyond that, it's bandwidth and realizing that you have to do everything.
Yeah.
And finding out that you don't know how to use MailChimp as well as you thought after the email blast goes out. So.
That's so terrifying, the moment before you click send.
You're waiting for that monkey high five, and it's so so it's been a interesting experience, and what we've been fortunate is the clients and the prospects that we've been talking to have been great at giving us the feedback. And so we had started originally with just your own personal library, and as we start talking to our clients and our consumers, we realized that having it integrated with other individuals makes it dramatically more powerful. And they've just been great with giving us the feedback of how to improve and be a tool that is invaluable to them.
Great. Well, my last question, what is that one piece of advice that you would give to our community of entrepreneurs on Meet Advisors?
The one piece of advice, plan ahead more than I do. And the team, having a well-rounded team is extremely valuable. And what I had said with the technology piece of it, having that technology piece on board and a business development or a product person on board can really create a business and momentum much quicker than when you're waiting for somebody who isn't part of the team. And timing, getting it done today is everything
Timing's
right
everything,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where can people find out more about you? What's your website?
We're at Sorcd.com. It's SORCD.com. You can reach me, Bob, at Sorcd.com. And there's some videos up, and it'll teach you a little bit about how the platform works, and you can see how to get started.
Great. Well, guys, check out Sorcd.com and check out meetadvisors.com for more videos and blogs. Thank you.